Hey, what's up, guys? Now we're going to talk about actually writing our programs in Strength Sheets. This is the feature that really makes this thing unique because previously, and if you've used training cards before, the most traditional way to do this is programming directly on the sheet that you're going to print and having to make copies of tabs. And that's how the multi athlete programming template was before. And I really didn't like that. I wanted a place where I could program, I could see progressions, I could see week to week, and it was easy for me to be able to kind of give me more of an outlook on what's happening, and I can see many weeks at a time and how I'm progressing and regressing. And then I wanted to be able to pull from these menus and then put them into a place that can print and not have to worry about trying to do it all on the same sheet that I'm trying to print. So that's why I created this. And not only did I create a place to program, I created a place to program for 48 weeks. Okay, 12 phases. All right, you got 12 4-week phases menu right here that rolls from left to right where you can see everything that you're doing. And not only did I create a programming menu that for 48 weeks, but I created it for 8 different programs. And now you can program 8 different programs for up to 48 weeks, and the printing card will auto-populate exactly as you tell it to. And I'm going to show you how we do that. Okay, so here I'm just going to start in this program 1 here, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to write your programs. It's really simple. Okay, now all of your names of phases are totally customizable. Okay, so you've got phase 1 here. You don't want to change this name, but if you wanted to write in, if program 1, is over here, is football skill, because if you go back to your main menu, that's the first program that you created right here, football skill. That will change. Like if I change this to football, let's say Devo, like a football development. Oh, I've already got that one. Let's not call it that. Let's call it football bigs. Let's call it that instead of line. Let's just for example's sake. If I come back here, it's going to say that here. Okay, it's going to change along with it, right? So if I'm there, and let's just keep it at football skill, but you can see how it changes on the fly right there. I can name whatever this phase is, right? Let's say this is, hypertrophy 1. I mean, this is just for you guys to see. I mean, you're not going to change anything. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't matter what you want to call it. That's just for organizational purposes. Then you've got your weeks here, and I'm going to show you how this looks. In this column, you got this whole week's worth of workouts in this column. And it'll also give you your week start date based on what you put in your training calendar. Okay, starting in day 1, and the way that I'm using the language, you get 4 tiers. You got tier A, which is a primary exercise here with sets, reps, percentages, and info. A secondary exercise with just a place to write sets and reps. And you've got 4 of those: tier A, tier B, tier C, tier D. And then when you scroll past that, that's when day 2 begins. Day 2 begins here. You can notice this top here stays locked in, top rows, and this left-hand column stays locked in to make it easy to view. And same thing, day 2 all the way, keep scrolling down, day 3, scroll down, day 4. Okay, so you've got 4 days of programming, and everything that happens in that week is in that column. And then from week to week, you can compare as you go from left to right. In our phases, every phase has got 4 weeks, and it's just like whatever you set to active when you want to print, you're going to look at. If I'm in phase 2, week 3, because of this date, I go to my main menu, and I select the corresponding active phase and active week. We'll get to the printing side later. As far as writing your programs, remember, exercises come from your exercise index along with the training maxes. Now, the training maxes are going to auto-populate on the print page, but here, from the drop-down menu, you're simply going to select whatever exercise it is you want to put in your program. Okay, you can do it one of 2 ways. You can either click the arrow and find it there, or I can search it. So I just click in the cell like this, and I start typing what I want, and it works as a search engine too, and I can select whatever I'm searching to be a lot faster. Like searching for back squat there, I found it. If you want to erase it, you simply click on it and press backspace or delete, It'll take it away. It doesn't change the drop-down menu. The drop-down menu stays the same. Now, from left to right here, as far as programming for this tier, you've got how many sets you're going to do, how many reps you're going to do, what percentage you want the load to be, and then any info you want to tell about that set, including setup, a short cue, a velocity. If you want to put in meters per second for that set, it's definitely there. And I want you to notice in the info tab, you'll see this little block here. If you hover your cursor over info, it'll give you a little bit of information. I'm going to show you that here in a minute. So you've got 6 rows to write a program. All right, Coach, what if I have 10 sets? Well, you've got the capability of doing that. Like if you wanted to do, let's say, a build-up set of 1 set of 3, 1 set of 3, 1 set of 3, okay? And then you wanted to do 5 sets of doubles or 5 sets of singles. Okay, so maybe we want to build up to 5 sets of 90% singles, 90, 80, 70, 60, right? That's how you wanted to write it. That's how it's going to show up on the card is 1 set of 3, 1 set of 3, 1 set of 3, then 5 sets of 1. And they would repeat those 5 sets of singles at 90. So you got some build-up sets, and you've got your working sets there. In the info tab, this is what's important because when it comes to printing sheets and me trying to master the ability to print sheets, we want it to be readable. We got to save space. It's very precious real estate. So when I hover my cursor over the info, it's going to give us some important information. It says no more than 10 characters, including spaces for formatting purposes. Cell will turn red if too many. Really simple, okay? If I'm in this info tab and I put, 0.35 space here, 0.45 meters per second, it's too long, right? It's going to flash red because of the font size. You won't be able to read it. Instead, you just probably need to put the speed, and if the red goes away, you're safe. Just a simple signaling there. If you put something info, you've got 10 characters, including spaces, to put something. Okay, whatever you want it to be, and it doesn't matter how you do that. That's freedom space there for you to put whatever's important. If you need to put certain type SSB bar, if you're gonna back squat with that, or if you're gonna put orange band, you may need to be super, shorthand. The only reason I do that is for being able to read it. You don't want it to be microscopic whenever we get to the printing side of things. So you can search here for our primary, and then for your secondary, it's the same thing, right? Let's say if I want band pull aparts, I can select it. And then here it's just typing text. So if I want 3 sets of 15, type it there. Okay, just type it there, whatever you want, because the secondary exercise more than likely is not going to have intensities. Okay, I'm going to delete that here. And then you just scroll on down and continue to select. And what I like about this menu is that for the second week, if I'm going to back squat again, I can look at what we did the previous week, in more of a 10,000-foot view here and be able to see progressions a lot easier in this menu. And I can work and I can figure out where everything's going. It'll give me a lot more information on the fly to be able to program intelligently. And all the information on the sheet's here for you. What week we're in, what that week start date is, what the phase is, all that. And if I want to work off this week, phase 1, week 1 should be active. And then we're going to print day 1. We'll talk about managing and navigating your print card here in a minute. But that's as simple as it is. That's exactly how you program on this sheet. You can scroll down. You can scroll over all the way to phase 12. And you can have essentially an entire year's worth of programming on this sheet, and you can come back and reference it and see, well, what did we do 2 months ago? It's on the sheet. How did we progress? Real easy to also show any of your head coaches or any coach that you want to show your programming to. It's a really easy place to be able to do that. And it's the reason why I created this, to be able to program in a place that's organized, that doesn't get in the way of what you're trying to print, and it allows you to make decisions and absorb what you're doing better and make better decisions as you program.